Hello and welcome to the big picture. Many parts of North India and even some other parts of the country has been witnessing hailstorms and unseasonal rains for the last 3 weeks. While this has resulted in a welcome postponement of summer for the people who are still enjoying the cool weather, farmers are having a harrowing time. The destruction of rabi crops in an initially estimated 50 lakh hectares is feared to go up further. The unseasonal rains have already affected various crops, including wheat, pulses, barley, mustard, fruits like mango, orange, banana, grapes, and apple. The worst affected state is Uttar Pradesh, where an estimated 27 lakh hectares has been affected, while in Rajasthan, the losses in nearly 15 lakh hectares and about 7.5 lakh hectares in Maharashtra. What will be the impact of these rains in the coming weeks and months on agriculture? And what overall impact it will have on the economy? What measures need to be taken to minimize the damage? We will discuss all this today with BP Yadav, Head Weather Forecast Division in the Indian Met Department, Professor Praveen, Center for Economic Studies and Planning, JNU, Tajamul, Haque, former Chairman, Commission for Agricultural Costs and Prices, Government of India, and Chetan, Chauhan, Associate Editor, Hindustan Times. Welcome to all of you. Mr. Yadav, how often have we seen this kind of unseasonal rains in this country? And what is the kind of damage which it has caused earlier, and now what is the kind of damage you think will be caused?
First of all, I will start by saying that March is the month which is known for rainfall and hailstorm over many parts of the northwest and central India. Many years we are getting this type of weather. Last year also there was hailstorm in Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra during the month of February and March. This is not totally unexpected, this type of weather in the March. But the only difference from the routine is that this year the amount of rainfall is more, the distribution of the rainfall is more, and you can say the intensity of hailstorm is also more than the usual activity which we experience in the month of the March. When the rainfall is
Please continue.
No, I was just saying that when the rainfall is continuous for 24 hours, 36 hours, and it is accompanied by strong winds and hailstorm. For this time of the year, February and March month, when the crops are very at an advanced stage, it is bound to cause loss in the crops by way of lodging, by way of many other things which your experts will tell. But this has happened in the past also, many years, and this year the frequency and intensity is more than the usual.
This intensity, Mr. Yadav, when was it last seen in this country? And such widespread intensity across almost all the northern states.
We have analyzed the data which we have received in this month. We have not received the heavy rainfall what we have received in Delhi in last 100 years. The rainfall, the one-day rainfall, highest rainfall in the parts of Punjab and Rajasthan is almost an all-time record. So March month is yet to complete. It is only half of the March which has been completed. 15 days are still remaining. So I can say that this is an unusually high rainfall month for the many parts of the country, not only the Punjab, Haryana, as you are right to say, even Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra, Rajasthan, UP, unusual rainfall, high rainfall, heavy snowfall in Jammu Kashmir and Himachal Pradesh is also something which we have to watch for.
Wait, was this something which you people had predicted, this intensity?
That is the only thing which is you can say happy in this aspect, that this type of weather is predictable about 5 to 7 days in advance, and with a high degree of accuracy. And India Meteorological Department, through its forecasting system, has predicted the heavy rains, the heavy snowfall, the hailstorm, the strong winds over northwest and central India, right throughout the March, about 5 to 7 days in advance, and it has been very accurate. And the concerned authorities, agriculture authorities, through our advisories, farmers' advisories, were informed well in advance.
Okay. Mr. Haque, what kind of losses do you expect?
No, this is going to be a huge loss.
Yet they're saying that the initial estimate says that about 50 lakh hectares have been affected. It may be more, they're saying.
No, it may be more. And also, if you see the number of crops that are affected, as you said, I mean, vegetable crops, fruit crops, wheat, barley, mustard, and potato, severely affected.
Potatoes and onions.
Onions. So, I think already we can see the impact in the economy. I mean, in terms of price rise and all that, and the speculation, hoarding, all kinds of things will start. That I will come to that later. But the overall things are going to be bad in the sense, the monsoon season also we lost paddy crops due to bad monsoon. And this time again, if farmers lose so many ways this way, so I think farmers will be in real trouble. And even for the agriculture economy as such, the overall, for the last few years we are seeing the agriculture growth rate has come down very significantly. Currently we are estimating it to be about 1.1%. And even last year we said it will be less than 2%. So if this is the kind of thing, will be, I don't know, if you want to achieve 4% growth rate, you will have to have 7 or 8% growth rate in the next, remaining years of the 12th Five-Year Plan, which is impossible. So I think there is a serious challenge for the country, for the government, for the economy, and also for the farmers. And farmers, I think I feel bad because they are the people already they are suffering a lot due to several reasons, even otherwise traditionally.
Right.
Low income, high indebtedness, and then the kind of poverty and indebtedness trap in which they are. But this year, as a result of this kind of loss, farmers in all these affected areas will further fall into debt trap. And then recovery will be very difficult. And the way institutional credit system functions in this country, they will not come to their rescue because they care more for the big people, not for the small kind of farmers. And second thing is that our agriculture insurance system is very inefficient and ineffective, that does not cover so many crops, first of all, in many cases.
Yes,
and also the farmers, those who are non-loany farmers, they are largely neglected or ignored. They don't get the benefits of insurance. So I think there are huge challenges.
Praveen, what are the challenges?
Yeah, I mean, the challenges are, of course, huge. Firstly, the output is going to take a very significant hit. And as of now, we are talking of some 15 to 20%. But if
15 to 20%?
Yes, of the total Rabi output, if you take all the crops and so on. And the amazing thing is almost every crop, not only cereals and pulses and so on, potato, onions, but also horticulture, floriculture. And so on. If you look at the whole range, the entire Rabi range of crops has been pretty badly hit. Right now, the estimates, as you rightly mentioned, is about 50 lakh hectares, but it's likely to go up. Because not only in the second half of March, we are also saying that in the first half of April, and Mr. Yadav's department has already mentioned the dates, 1st, 6th and 14th April, when you might expect pretty heavy rain, again spread all over the place, the entire range. So one thing is that northern and central India, this kind of intensity and such a huge range, not only wide range across states, but within states, and the precipitation has been so high. One of the major problems in almost every state is that of drainage problem.
Right.
Now, that waterlogging is something which, so apart from the crops getting flattened because of the heavy rain, because the intensity has been very high, the problem of drainage, and in most states, that's a huge problem. Right. The third thing is immediate, if you don't find adequate drainage in a short space, the problem of pests.
Right.
Now, that becomes very serious. So, if we take everything into account, my sense is we are headed for a very, very significant hit as regards the total output, number one. Number two, as Dr. Haque already hinted, even if you have, let's say, a 5%, 10% decline in output, prices can move in the range of some 50%, 60%, 100%, you never know. Precisely
which is already happening with some certain vegetables.
Exactly, yeah. So it's been reported that things like tomatoes, carrots, cauliflowers, etc. in 1 week, over a period of 1 week, the prices increased by some 10 to 15 rupees, right? So the whole problem of speculation that we have in our system, and I don't see how that can be addressed. So immediately this is going to impact on. And
we will come to the how it can be addressed. Chetan, What kind of responses are you witnessing in the government to this kind of situation? Normally, National Disaster Management
NDRF.
Authority has been put into action and things like that. But how effective are they?
I think the deficiency of the system is that the state governments or the district agriculture authorities or bodies doesn't have a relief measure for immediate relief measure. In NDRF teams will go there, the state government will analyze, the relief will come 3 months, 6 months after the damage is done. By that time, the farmer is totally gone. His crop is gone, is totally lost. The immediate measure at the ground level is not there. And this is not for the first time such a thing has happened. Unseasonal rains have happened in the past also. But I think the government haven't learned a lesson on agriculture disaster management. There's a national disaster
There is a
management.
natural disaster management.
But
Natural
agriculture-
disasters are, the focus is more on natural disaster.
The agriculture disaster management plan is not there. So if you want to have, you should have a crop-wise disaster management plan. How the state bodies, the local bodies, the panchayat level bodies, they can interact, intervene and prevent, if not prevent, provide some sort of relief to a farmer. I think the government at the central level and state level in the new concept of cooperative federalism should have this agriculture disaster management plan. And I think one of the biggest factor this year will be that inflation. The government yesterday came out with a figure that is the WPI is in negative. We will see that in the coming months, the consumer price index will jump because of this impact.
Right.
And as Dr. Jha said, we have seen the agriculture prices rising. And if you see in the last 1 year, the prices of tomato, onions have already, the base price is around about 30 rupees.
Yes.
So you can see that it can be about 45 to 50 rupees in the coming months. So it's bad for farmers and it's bad for people who live in cities, who consumers also. So it's a double whammy for...
It's a double whammy. Mr. Yadav, this whole,
Ji.
as far as unseasonal rains are concerned, it's something which nobody can control. But when you talk of forecasting, when you said that you were able to forecast it earlier, what do you expect? What kind of responses do you expect? And another thing, what Praveen Jha was saying, are you forecasting that these kind of unseasonal, these kind of rains, these kind of heavy rains are going to continue for the next, for how long?
I will take your second part first.
Yes.
And here there is a good news that we have already witnessed very high rains during the first half of the March month. But our analysis suggests that the second half of the March will be far better than the first half. That means it will be mostly sunny, dry, and the rains will be much lesser than the first half. Having said that, the certain forecast is that next 1 week, if I say start from 17th of March to 24th of the March, it will be largely dry over large parts of the country. And particularly the agriculture, you can say, dominated states of Punjab, Haryana, UP, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, all these will be dry for next 1 week. It will be sunny, dry weather, temperature is going to increase. So that is a good news for farmers. But then western disturbances, which is the root cause of this unseasonal rain, they keep on coming. Usually 4 to 5 western disturbances affect our region in a month. What we are expecting as of now from our models that the next WD will come only after 25th of the March. So and that will affect mainly towards the end of the March our northwest India. Till then at least 1 week good weather, dry weather. Is there, whatever crops can be saved or harvested, some mustard or anything like that, so that can be done. Potato storage and earthing of the potato, that can be done. And through advisories, IMD, through agriculture institutions, ICR institutions, agriculture universities are advising the farmers in the light of the forecast weather that what can be done, what should be done so that the damage can be minimized.
Okay. Dr. Haque,
Can I just
yes.
SkyMet Vice President of Meteorology, he says March 21st, March 31st, April 1st, April 6th and April 14th. Expect heavy rains on,
in these areas.
Yes, in the entire.
I just like to add to it.
Yes.
I just like to add to it. that India Meteorological Department is the authorized agency, as it has much more capabilities and expertise and technology to give you the precise information.
We will take your word.
There is no WD coming on 21st of the March or anything.
We will take your Mr. Yadav. We will take
forecast. I don't contest their forecast, but
Mr. Yadav, we will take your word.
But I will only say that please.
We will take your word as of now.
Certainly, sir.
Till 21st.
I'm giving you the.
21st will be a 21st will be
high degree of responsibility.
I know. Nowadays, we really in the past few years, the Indian Met Department has been quite a lot accurate about than what it used to be. I'm sure you have very new methods nowadays to do that. But we'll take your word for it and we'll wait till 21st March. Praveen Jha says 21st March. If it doesn't rain on 21st March, your word will be taken for granted. Okay, Dr. Haque, my question is this.
Sure, sir. Let's watch.
He's saying, let us assume that what the Indian Met Department is saying is true. For the next 1 week till 24th, 25th, there's going to be dry weather. How much of the crops can be saved in this kind of situation?
No. My own assessment is that this is not the time to think of contingency plan or damage control. That time has gone. If it is a sowing on transplanting season, you can do some changes.
This is the harvesting time.
Harvesting time.
Yes.
Mustard has already ripened and already lying in the field after harvesting in many places, in particularly in Rajasthan. In Haryana, Punjab, wheat should have started being harvested now. And at least in the whole of April, this peak harvesting season will be there. So already ripening, this is the ripening kind of a stage, in the case of wheat. And wheat, if it gets lodged, gets flattened, and if there is waterlogging kind of situation, the whole crop will be damaged.
No, that is what waterlogging. If there is going to be a dry weather for 1 week,
no, but that
how much will it help?
A lot of things will go. By that time,
you have drainage, this problem
by that
will
time,
be huge.
the whole thing will go. Apart from that, in places where there is hailstorm, the quality of the grain will be very bad. It will be black. It happened in 2006 also, and in some other 1 or 2 years. So this will not be marketable. So that problem will be there. So farmers will be in a real soup, I should say, in all these affected areas. So in this context, the best contingency plan for the government should be to come with some kind of relief measure, immediate relief.
What kind of relief?
Means
what is it that the farmers would expect?
Two things. One thing is that in some places where weather indexed insurance was, piloted, there they say on the occurrence of some such situation, 50% of the estimated loss will be immediately handed over to the affected farmers. So this is one which they can even try now based on the kind of scenario that exists. The government, instead of depending on the private companies, maybe the government itself should come forward to give this kind of package. Second thing for the government should be to think in terms of giving interest-free loan up to say 50,000 rupees per farm or whatever way the crop loss estimates. If don't go for estimations will take a lot of time.
That is exactly the problem I was coming to. Estimation.
Right.
See, half the problem when what we hear from farmers in this kind of situation, estimating the crop loss itself takes a lot of time.
It takes a lot of time. So based on the local assessment by the tehsildars or whosoever, at least 50% of it can be right way given in terms of relief to the farmers, at least interest-free loan, if not anything. So there are ways to deal with this kind of situation.
Praveen?
Yeah, I think that would be the first significant
contingency.
step.
This is the contingency plan.
There's
You
no
don't think that
contingency
in this 1 week dry period, sunny period, something can be recovered.
Sure,
some loss can be recovered.
Yes, sure. If there is 1 week of dry spell, then certainly some of it can be retrieved. There's no question about it. But the estimates which I have seen, the range is 15 to 20%, 20 to 30%. And all these are experts. All of them are experts who are sort of associated with different organizations. And we need to take their word seriously, right? So even if it's, let's say, 15%, now we are talking of a huge and very significant loss. And as it happens, it is concentrated, number one, among some states. Number two, even if it is evenly distributed, let's say crop losses across farm size classes, obviously those who constitute the bottom half are being hit really very badly. So, I think it's very important to think in terms of some quick response measures. And also, as a next step, it should be that what can be done, apart from the fact that this crop has gone, maybe in April, May, is there something?
No, that is the point I was coming to. That's the point I was coming to. The question is this, that, there are two aspects to this. One, the losses which the farmers themselves are suffering and because of which the kind of, crisis which they will get into. Other things is the price hike which will happen and people, ordinary people, all of us, everybody, all the consumers are going to be affected. So you have to actually tackle this problem on these two fronts.
Right.
My question is this, where this kind of rains have not happened, say in south, east, and how much can these regions make up for these kind of losses?
No, if you look at some of the major Rabi cereals, for instance, they are heavily concentrated in this part. So there is very little that you can do as regards mainly the cereals, and maybe lentils, etc. You have a more evenly spread kind of story there, because some of the southern states and central belt also provides a significant amount to the kitty on the whole. So, but I think on the whole, in terms of impacting on inflation, if you are looking at the overall Rabi for the country as a whole, and the range is 15 to 30% in terms of output, my guess is prices would be anywhere upwards of 50%. It's a matter of
Dr.
just
Haque,
a couple of months.
Compensating these losses, say from south or east, how much of it is possible? What are the crops which can be compensated?
Yeah, first of all, I should say in the case of cereals like wheat or barley. Wheat, absolutely, I don't think immediately there should be any reason for the price to rise. But even if there is some such loss, we have a huge stock. If that is unloaded and it comes in the open market, the supply situation will improve and price can be contained if the government wants, and unless, of course, the private
wheat stocks, we have enough wheat stocks, you are saying?
The FCI stocks.
FCI
stocks.
Yes.
And then if that is unloaded through by way of open market sale or whatever way the government wants, there are 2-3 alternatives. So if that comes to the market, the supply situation will improve and prices can be contained. But again, what happens in some such cases, the government does not act promptly, and I have seen in the past also, excepting in 2002, I mean, that time also, of course, it was NDA government, but that acted promptly and the inflation situation could be controlled.
Was
contained. But this time, for the last few years at least, we are seeing no action on the part of the government to contain this kind of inflationary situation. And secondly...
You said about wheat, what about other crops?
But about vegetables, for example, potato, certainly there will be a serious problem. As I said, potato, I mean, in many places where there is waterlogging kind of situation, the crop is totally lost. The potato cannot, withstand this kind of, situation. Where water getting logged for 2-3 days means the crop will go simply. So immediately, and based on that, even if there is, say, in this particular pockets, there is a loss of, say, 10% or 20% or whatever you say, the remaining areas also will try to constrain the supply. Those who are holding it in the cold storage, also, the wholesalers and retailers, everybody will try to,
capitalize on this and exploit the market.
Saying, just a small point. Actually, apart from wheat, we don't have stocks of anything in the government system.
Yes.
So everything else, you will see very significant impact in terms of prices and so on. Second, you see, if we rely only on open market operations, my understanding is that doesn't work very well in our country. Because unless you have a strong PDS, right, you will find that this problem of speculation and hoarding, etc., is something which continues to haunt us. It will certainly help. It certainly help. I mean, there's no question about it.
It depends on the government, actually. If the government is committed and determined, it worked. In 2002, you see the price level, it was 4%.
No, but
overall growth.
No. On the other hand, you see, the only other reason.
State governments want, they can have measures. They can introduce measures.
On the other hand, you see, what we must also appreciate, that there had been a massive demand squeeze during the NDA period, and the year that you're talking about was the tail end of that massive squeeze, right? So when incomes were so poor, so low, it had been squeezed so badly, and that is one of the reasons why we had this demand for employment guarantee scheme.
Right.
So we have to keep that into mind as well.
Chetan, these measures which is state government. Now we are talking of wheat and other pulses and all. Horticulture crops have been badly hit. You are from Himachal, you should know.
Because apple has not started flowering as yet, but other fruits like peas, walnut,
Banana.
no, not banana, but other
Grapes
stone
and-
fruits
yeah.
had been badly impacted because the February and March months are the flowering season.
Yes.
And the flowering season had been totally devastated in the entire belt of Himachal and in parts of Jammu and Kashmir because of heavy snowfall. And the future for apple is also very bad because it starts flowering in the first week of April. And it goes on till April end. If there is rainfall in this month, there will be a frost and the flowering will be very bad. So until, and the government has a chance to bring in some sort of contingency measure for farmers because they know this is going to happen.
Yeah.
So if they want to save the crop, the government can introduce some contingency measures for farmers in Jammu and Kashmir and Himachal, which is a huge apple economy. Otherwise, the farmers for this year is ruined. And the crop, I don't expect there can be a loss of 30 to 40%.
No, but Chetan, in the last 1 or 2 weeks that this has been happening, people are forecasting what could happen. What kind of response are you seeing at the central government level? And, what kind of, as far as center and states are concerned, because ultimately states have to handle this.
No, this time I have not been enthused, but though even the budget session is going on, I haven't heard a word from the agriculture minister on the floor of the house much. They are saying we are assessing the situation, we are getting the reports from the states. The states are saying that we are looking towards the center for providing us funds. But there has not been a proactive action from the central government and the state governments to provide immediate relief to the farmers. And the estimate of the loss, some states have provided estimate of the loss, like Maharashtra has provided, Rajasthan has provided, but most of the states have not been able to assess the loss so far. It's very difficult to assess the loss in such a short duration, but the central government could have provided more funds, could have provided teams to assess the situation, and some sort of relief could have been provided. And the budget is on. They could have provided free loans also.
Yes.
The finance minister in his reply in the budget speech could have said that because of the huge loss to farmers, this year we will give an interest-free loan to farmers in these states.
That has not happened. Dr. Haque?
This announcement has not been made so far.
Dr. Haque, finally, quickly, so, you see overall impact on the economy. What will be the overall impact on the economy?
Overall, as I said, first of all, the kind of production loss and all that is all right. But then on the price front, already we have discussed that it will impact severely, particularly the vegetables can see immediately. Potato prices in last 1 week has doubled from 10 rupees to 20 rupees in most places.
And you don't see government intervention in this to control it. How much can government control
can
it?
do it, because what happens is that currently what we find, even though the loss will occur in the next few weeks or afterwards, already the prices have started going up. That means this is market manipulation by the private traders.
So the government can come in and control it. Yes, Praveen.
See, I think, in fact, the consumer price index, it has already inched up, even though wholesale price has gone down. So on the price thing, I think all of us are on the same page. Along with that, what we must also recognize that it is going to have a very significant adverse impact on industrial recovery and the overall recovery of the economy. If you look at consumer durables production, that's down by 5.3%. If you look at index of industrial production, that has slowed down. And likewise, a number of other dimensions of the rest of the economy.
Rural demand will come down.
Rural demand, it's already been coming down. Real wages have been going down. So if we add all that together, there is going to be a significant negative adverse impact on industrial.
And what is it that the government
growth
can do on this?
No,
to what extent can government control, have control over this situation?
You see, I think the government first of all has to
recognize the
problem.
Okay. Hopefully, Mr. Yadav, I don't think I'll have any more question to you, but we will take your word for it and we'll wait till 21st March and hope that, what the Indian Met Department has forecast will come true. Thanks to all my guests, and as Praveen finally said that, we'll have to see how the government will recognize this problem and what kind of response, not just the center, but all the state governments will also do, have for this. Thanks to all my guests. Please keep watching. We'll come back with another issue, the big picture, same time tomorrow.